Sword Art Online is widely considered to be the worst anime. The main reason why that's the case is because the characters are terrible, especially the main protagonist, Kirito. In this video, I'll explain why Kirito is a bad character. Let's get started. No personality. Kirito is so bland and generic. He doesn't have any unique personality traits. If you were to describe Kirito, it would sound like you're talking about any of the other isekai harem protagonists out there. No character development. Kirito started out as the best player in the game, so there's no room for him to grow, and he stays the exact same throughout the entire series. Kirito doesn't change at all. Way too edgy. Kirito's like a pizza cutter. All edge and no point. Kirito is somehow even edgier than Sasuke Uchiha. Ladies man. Nearly every female character falls in love with Kirito, including his sister. There are also several moments where Kirito literally has the hentai protagonist hairstyle. Dumb decisions. Kirito makes a lot of stupid choices. Like, why did Kirito take the blame for the beta testers? He should have reasoned with everyone, but instead he made the situation a lot worse. Way too overpowered. Kirito is too strong for his own good. The author of Sword Art Online, Reki Kawahara, even said that Kirito is such a perfect character. Almost too perfect. That's why he created his other main character, Haruyuki Arita from Excel World, to be completely different from Kirito. Reki Kawahara thought that an actual flawed character would be better for development and growth. Excel World was written several years after Sword Art Online, so Reki Kawahara was able to learn from his mistakes. Overpowered characters aren't automatically a bad thing. It's how you use them that counts, and Sword Art Online does this very poorly. For example, lots of people love the One Punch Man anime series, even though the main character Saitama is way more overpowered than Kirito ever was. But One Punch Man knows how to use Saitama correctly. He's constantly put in positions where his power level doesn't matter. Furthermore, Saitama isn't the smartest character, so he constantly makes stupid decisions, despite all the power he possesses. So it's very possible to make an overpowered character who's flawed and interesting to watch. There are plenty more examples where this is true, like Superman. If you have an overpowered character, you need to give them some flaws to balance it all out. Furthermore, Kirito ruins all the fight scenes. The major issue is that there's no tension when Kirito's the one fighting. Kirito's a huge Gary Stu and he's way too overpowered. You already know that he's going to win. The less certain it is who will win a fight, the more exciting it is to watch that fight. For example, let's take a look at the fight scenes in the 2018 movie Avengers Infinity War. Those fight scenes were awesome because you genuinely had no idea who was going to win. It was a constant back and forth, and there was a very real chance the villain Thanos could win this time. The heroes are not in control all the time. That's what Sword Art Online gets wrong when Kirito's fighting. You know what the outcome is going to be. The only time that Kirito did lose is when his opponent had to cheat and break the rules, which further proves how overpowered Kirito is. It's impossible to beat him fair and square. There's never a single moment where you legitimately believe that Kirito might actually lose for real. Kirito is so overpowered that he literally doesn't have to do anything at all. He just stands there and that's enough to defeat an entire clan of people. What? Are you serious? Imagine if Thanos just stood there and all the Avengers lost on their own. That would be stupid. Nobody would want to watch that. Watching Kirito stand there and do nothing but still win is about as interesting and engaging as watching paint dry or grass grow. This scene also effectively ends the feeling that Kirito will ever be in any danger. It's not even only in the Aincrad arc either. It happens throughout the entire Sword Art Online series. For instance, Kirito starts playing Alfheim Online, and he easily beats all the game's top players. But Alfheim Online is not a new game. It was already out for about a year or so when Kirito joined. The other players should be way more experienced than Kirito, and have much better equipment than him. So how does Kirito effortlessly beat the best players in the game? It doesn't make any sense. If I started playing Fortnite today, for example, and I had never played the game before, then I wouldn't stand a chance against the game's top players. The same exact thing also happened in Gun Gale Online. Kirito joins the game and he easily beats everyone, even though Gun Gale Online is the only game in Japan with professional players. And Kirito wins by using a sword in a first-person shooter game. You see how ridiculous and implausible that is? The War of Underworld Part 2 sub-arc is the worst offender. Kirito defeats both of the antagonists Vasago Castles and Gabriel Miller without much trouble, when Asuna, Sinon, and Lifa couldn't do that with their goddess accounts. Kirito was out of it for several months. You would think that someone who hasn't walked in several months would be rusty and wouldn't be able to fight very well, but nope, Kirito is completely fine, and he has no problem beating the two villains on his own. He's easily going to win each and every fight, so it's not very exciting to watch that when you already know the outcome. Would you watch a murder mystery movie if you already know who the killer is? No, you wouldn't. There's no point in doing that because it ruins the fun. And the same thing applies here. Why watch Kirito when you know he's going to win? That's not very interesting at all. Furthermore, the fight scenes in Sword Art Online are so boring and repetitive. It's the same exact thing over and over again. The characters are always fighting with swords, so there's not a lot of variety. There's a sword fight, and then another sword fight, and then yet another sword fight, then oh look, another sword fight. At least switch things up once in a while to add in some diversity, and not let the audience get bored. You need to do something different or unique every time. Why bother introducing all these new elements like guns and magic into your story, if you're just gonna have your characters do the same thing they've always done? Yeah, I know the show is called Sword Art Online, but that doesn't mean you have to use swords every fight. It's not like they stayed in the Sword Art Online game the whole time. Even Michael Bay's Transformers movies do a much better job than Sword Art Online when it comes to the fighting and action scenes. In the Transformers movies, the characters are always using different weapons and new attack methods. They aren't just punching each other all the time. Additionally, the Transformers movies are much better at providing spectacle. The fight scenes don't just take place in one tiny room or a confined area. The battles and fight scenes are very exciting to watch. It's cool seeing these giant robots fighting each other, and you can easily get absorbed into the action. The big climax at the end of every Transformers movie is sure to keep you on the edge of your seat, eager for more. Moreover, most of the fight scenes in Sword Art Online are completely meaningless. Your fight scene actually has to serve a real purpose in the story, otherwise it's just filler. You don't randomly insert a fight scene because there hasn't been a fight scene in a while, and the viewers are starting to lose interest and get bored. A primary example of this would be the Kirito vs Death Gun fight at the end of the Phantom Bullet arc. That didn't need to happen at all. Digibro goes into a lot more detail about this in his Your Anime Sucks video about Sword Art Online Season 2.
Kirito was sent on a mission into Gun Gale Online in order to confirm the existence of Death Gun and find out if it's possible that Death Gun is really killing people. That's it. That's his mission. It's not to fight Death Gun, it's not to win the Bullet of Bullets, it's a quest for information given to him by a government agent.
As you can see, Kirito didn't have to fight Death Gun. The fight scene didn't add any value to the story. It was just there because they needed a big climax for the end of the arc. Not interesting. Kirito is shallow and boring. In fact, people seem to like Sword Art Online a lot more when Kirito isn't around.
Sword Art Online has gotten to a point where I just genuinely enjoy it for what it is. This is just fun popcorn entertainment and exactly why I enjoy Isekai in the first place. Though I do find it funny that all my favourite parts of Sword Art Online have conveniently come when Kirito is out of the picture.
Kirito literally has to be handicapped and completely taken out of the story, just to make the anime interesting. I haven't seen Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online myself, so I can't really comment on that. However, I imagine that it's just like what I mentioned before, about how the characters in that show are much more interesting to watch than Kirito. That's why people like it much better than the other arcs in Sword Art Online where Kirito is the main character. Even Mother's Basement, the most infamous and notorious Sword Art Online hater on YouTube, likes Alternative Gun Gale Online, and I'm sure one of the main reasons is because Kirito is not the lead character. Alternative Gun Gale Online was written by a different author, so that's why the characters are so different. This goes to show that plenty more people would probably like Sword Art Online as a whole if Kirito wasn't there. They hate Sword Art Online so much because they hate Kirito so much. If you remove Kirito out of the equation, those people might actually give Sword Art Online a fair chance. And that's why Kirito is a bad character. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.